President Obama makes a rare admission. Good afternoon. The wife of slain right-wing leader Eugene Terreblanche says her husband was no monster and treated his farm workers well. This was in response to the version of the accused in the murder trial. Marty Terreblanche has also dismissed claims that Terreblanche sodomized one of the accused. Terreblanche's wife is being cross-examined by the defense in the Circuit High Court in Ventersdorp in Northwest. Two people, including a minor who worked for Terreblanche, are accused of murdering him on his farm 2 years ago. Senior court reporter Candice Klein has the details.
The elder accused, Chris Mahlangu, says the Terreblanches gave him rotten meat to eat. But Marty says the meat, close to its expiry date, was meant for the dogs. She insists that the farm workers had plenty of good food on the farm. She also insists that there was no animosity between Eugene and his workers. This contradicts Mahlangu's statement of rampant abuse on the farm. Marty dismissed Mahlangu's claims that Terreblanche had strangled him, calling it absurd. Similarly, she vehemently disputed claims that her husband had sodomized Mahlangu, saying Eugene would never do something like that. Candice Klein, SABC News, Ventersdorp.
Firefighters in the Boerland are rushing to protect farms near Wellington from a raging inferno fanned by strong winds. The Wellington farms became threatened when the wind changed direction. The fire has already destroyed vineyards, wooden cottages and electricity cables in the Slanghoek Valley since it started over the past weekend. Cape Wineland's fire spokesperson, Royston Harris, says they've moved their command center to Wellington from where they'll fight the flames. At least 17 wooden holiday cottages have been destroyed in the Steenbok Park Nature Reserve overnight. Companies have been encouraged to follow the guidelines of the Code for Responsible Investing in South Africa, CRISA. The code provides guidelines as to how institutional investors should embark upon responsible investment policies, practices and engagements. It takes effect tomorrow and advocates responsible investments by pension funds and insurance companies to promote long-term sustainability. Institute of Directors of Southern Africa CEO Ansi Ramalo says the public should take notice of CRISA.
From tomorrow, institutional investors and asset managers and fund managers will need to disclose in their formal communication to their stakeholders how they have implemented CRISA. The fact of the matter is, if we do not start investing with sustainability as a prime consideration, we may end up with a situation where 2 or 3 generations from now, there is no planet to live on, which means that there will be no business, which means that there will be no profit.
There's a low turnout at the National Council of Provinces public hearings into the Protection of State Information Bill in Thembalethu outside George in the Southern Cape. Today marks the beginning of countrywide public hearings into the bill. Community members say they were not informed about the process. NCOP Chief Whip Nosipho Ntwanambi says they've advertised the hearings extensively in the media. Members of the Right to Know campaign, which has shown strong opposition to the bill, are present at the hearings. The 15-member NCOP ad hoc committee will be conducting the hearings in all 9 provinces. The N2 has been reopened to traffic after a truck caught fire on the road at Twin Hill near Amanzimtoti outside Durban. Durban Metro Police spokesperson Eugene Msomi says the flow of traffic was disrupted for about 30 minutes. Msomi says at this stage it is not known what started the fire, but a mechanical problem could have been responsible. He says the truck has now been moved off the road.
An incident there of a truck on fire on the N2 between Twin Hill and Amanzimtoti, and the truck was on fire. The fire has been put off now, and the truck has been moved to the side of the road. So the restriction that we're on N2 has been rescinded. The freeway is now open.
Finally, further afield, President Barack Obama has made a rare admission that the U.S. is using unmanned aircraft to kill militants inside Pakistan. Obama was answering questions about whether the attacks were a breach of sovereignty. He defended the action.
I want to make sure that people understand actually drones have not caused a huge number of civilian casualties. For the most part, they have been very precise, precision strikes against Al-Qaeda and their affiliates. This is a targeted, focused effort at people who are on a list of active terrorists who are trying to go in and harm Americans, hit American facilities, American bases, and so on. It is important for everybody to understand that this thing is kept on a very tight leash.
Recapping the top story, the wife of slain right-wing leader Eugene Blanche says her husband was no monster and treated his farm workers well. It's Midday Live.
Midday Live with Krivani Pillay.
Thank you, Atsile. It's 6 minutes.